Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of the Stews, and today, chums, I just wanted to talk about an idea that I have around No Man's Sky, and that this year might be the year that Hello Games starts doing a little bit more to push things over to the community, to make things more community driven. It's like, say, for instance, if you hit on up the featured bases inside of the spatial anomaly, they don't get rotated out all too often. These ones that you can see here right now, as good as they are, they've probably been here now since maybe, God, August of last year maybe or something. Whereas technically I feel that these could be rotated out maybe every other month or something. The first of each month, new bases appear. Give us something to do, something to go visit, something to see. Gives more people the opportunity to have their base become a featured base. Now, something that you've probably spotted already on here is a lot of these have little stars on them, almost like they've been rated. And that's what gave me the idea of maybe when you visit somebody's base and you go to their base computer, maybe you could rate their base. Let's just go to somebody's base in any old system. Oh, look, there's one in this system. We go to that one. Don't know whose it is. It's not mine. All right, there we go. We're going there to the Haxgorial Sphere. Let's go there. That was a blinking space station, wasn't it? Wasn't a blinking base, was it? Let me get back to the space anomaly. We'll try again. Again, here we go. Space anomaly, not space station. Right, here we go. Let's go for, I guess this one. Actually, this is the only one with an icon. I can kind of see what's there though. It's not that big, is it? We'll go for this one. This one's got a scroller on it. Let's go there. Downloading. Oh, okay. One moment. Oh, there we go. We can go. Lovely. Okay, chums, well, I've arrived located at a random base. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Let's have a quick look around then, shall we? Oh, look at this! In all of its glory, in all of its infinitesimal state. Okay. Right, so there's a teleporter here. And a load of nip-nip. Of course there is. Of course there is. Okay, right. Where's the base computer? That is the base computer. No, that's a safe freaking beacon. Where's your base computer, mate? All right. Someone's very good at hiding base computers. That's the whole objective of this video. Dang it! All right. It's got to be around here somewhere. Aha! I spotted it. I've spotted it, people. Here it is, right here. Now, when you go to a base computer currently, you don't really get much of a menu, just logged in as guest. Well, wouldn't it be nice to have a guest book? And inside that guest book, you can leave a rating. You can rate it on its design, on its functionality, on its placement, you know? And you could give it a rating. And then also maybe add in a comment. Because a lot of people have been leaving comms balls by bases, and they can be quite intrusive and even cover the base marker and make it hard to find the base in the first place if it's a popular base. So I think guest books would be the way forwards. And maybe Hello Games could even add an option there that after you leave a comment, you can pick one of your own bases and leave it. It would say, you know, signed or commented by Steve or whatever, Captain Steve, and then give, do you want to visit their base? And a portal code. You hit yes, and it automatically takes you to their base. And then you can leave feedback on theirs and rate their base. And I'm thinking the most highly rated bases, the bases that get the most visits and get the most decent star ratings, perhaps could then become the featured bases each month. And then it resets, and then, you know, it doesn't choose the same bases in rotation again. You know, those ones can't then appear another month. I think that could work really freaking well. Sign up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Is that a good idea? Now, another idea that I've had is perhaps Hello Games could implement some sort of way of bringing back from the brink planets that have been destroyed through terraforming catastrophes. Airless worlds, basically. Airless worlds at the moment haven't really got much going on with them. What if you could get a terraformer and put it on an airless world and terraform it back into life? And what if abandoned systems in space, what if those systems, you could actually own the station, catalogue all the system, bring it back into functionality, and maybe then auction it off? I've got two videos. I'm going to play you firstly the video on terraforming. Take a watch of this.
Pow! So yeah, a lot of systems that are sort of got dead systems, they're the ones with the data unavailable at the bottom. You're going to find have got a blown up sort of station on there. I would like to repair these stations. I have done a video idea on repairing and owning stations. I'll put that in the top right corner. But these systems have no fauna. You can scan the minerals and you can scan the flora, which I think could tie in quite nicely to building fauna on a planet, because at the moment dead planets have no fauna. So it'd be nice to be able to bring in some sort of egg machine into your base onto one of these dead planets. So you touch down on a planet. Yeah, okay, brilliant. Yeah, I quite like this world, but it has no fauna. So there we go, no fauna on here. So I might start scanning a few rocks and a few flora just to build up some sort of DNA repository to get an idea what the biome is and all that sort of stuff for my computer once I've built a base. So here you go, I've just built a very crude base. Righto, awesome. Got myself a base. Now I need to place in the egg machine. So the egg sequencer goes there, chicka pow pow, chicka pum pum, install a mondo. And now I can put in my eggs. So actually, I interface with the actual device first, and it brings up a menu. Swish, Dapper, created this on Photoshop. You put in your egg, you select what sort of fauna you want to generate from your egg. It looks at the DNA, but you can also put in Quicksilver items there. So yeah, and it starts sort of doing what it does, and it sort of generates out creatures that make sense to the creature in your egg. So if you put a Diplo in there, it's going to have the Diplo that you've got, but it would take into account what biome it is. So it may change some of the things. So this is a fungal planet, so it might put some shrooms or some sort of fungal sort of textures or something on your actual creature that makes sense to the biome. So it may alter what the creatures look like slightly on the planet, but then it would create sort of subsections of creature. So there might be like a little deer creature that it creates as well that's got similar sort of, you know, markings and stuff as your actual Diplo. But then if you put Quicksilver items in there, it may replace items that you've scanned in the flora database with the two things that you've put in from the Quicksilver database. So in this case, I might even get those little mud huts on a fungal world randomly generated, which would be freaking awesome. Okay, so I think that'd be nice. Like a mini terraformer based on your pet's DNA is where I'm going with this. And another thing is I'm running over to the center console. I'm thinking for bases and also on your freighters, it would be nice to have fauna pens. So we've got all these little command consoles here where you can check on the actual, you know, the progress of your missions. But how cool would it be to have actual pens on your actual freighter where you can check on your actual creatures, or other players can visit your freighter or your base and they can check on your creatures. I mean, the only creature I could get to spawn here was that one that's bouncing around, but it gives you an idea. They could also be carbon racks, and you can throw out some creature pellets, check to see whether they're happy, and feed them, make sure all their stats are great, all lovely jubbly. And there's also an auto feeder there, so maybe you can actually program it to feed your creature when you're not there. I think that'd be a gnarly idea. Heck yes. Maybe even it harvests the egg for you.
So hopefully you liked that video on terraforming. Yeah, you could have multiple biomes and stuff like that. Could be pretty darn freaking lovely. The next one is a very old video of mine on archiving planets, and this was something that I discussed with the Hidden Panda show some many years ago, because they were saying that it's very odd that we're going around the actual universe just renaming everything. Everything seems to be discovered. There's buildings all over planets. There's creatures that have already got names, and we just turn up there as an intergalactic renamer and rename everything. And I agreed with him, and I was also like, well, how can we get around that? What about if there was or every system was uncharted? Everything just had question marks. And then we go in and we have to name stuff and give it a name other than question marks, you know? And then what if after we've catalogued it all, we could sell that system? Anyway, let me hit up the video, because it's probably better just to show you the video. Execute a wonder! Chicka-pow-pow! Chicka-boom-boom!
Anyway, Exo, if you wouldn't mind, could you just bring the idea up on this console? Thanking you very much. Execute! Okay, around about a year ago or so, I was on the Hidden Panda show with one of his cohorts, and we was bouncing ideas off of each other on uncharted systems. So the way the idea evolved was eventually is an idea that I feel will fit quite nicely into the current iteration and in how the way the game is structured currently. So you go to an uncharted system, it's got no races there, no dominant species, no nothing, no trade, no sort of conflict level, no nothing. It's pretty much an empty system with planets that you can go visit. There's no ships, there's no sort of outposts, there's no nothing. So wouldn't it be cool if you could go there and actually chart these systems, and then once you've got all the gathered data in that system, put it up for sale or at an auction to all the different races, and then the races actually appear. So the station would come in and all the little outposts would go down to the planets, they'd make all the settlements, and then it kind of makes sense to the current iteration of things. I feel this idea could give the travellers another sense of purpose and another sense of exploration. I mean, you'd want to get the best scanner modules, so you're making units or nanites when you're doing all your scans and discoveries and boosting it that way as well. But then also, once you've actually scanned over 70% of a system and all the planets and life forms in there, you can go back to your freighter and put it up for auction and actually sell it to one of the races. Now the races will be interested in planetary worth for different reasons. It's like the Gek. The Gek are very into their mining. Their systems have always got the best haulers and the best mining attributes. So if you do scan a lot of minerals and the rocks on a planet, they're going to want to offer you a higher amount of units for that planet or the whole system, you know. Whereas the Viking, because they're into hunting and they like Mordite and things like that, and they like the actual animals, scanning all the fauna on a planet will make it more worthwhile to the Viking. And the Viking, get this, will actually pay you in Quicksilver. Whereas the actual Korvax, they're interested in the plant life, you know, the flora of a planet, and they'll pay you in nanites. So you can actually sort of do this in your sort of favour. I mean, although you've got to get the whole system scanned over 70%, if you focus just on scanning all the creatures and manage to discover all the creatures, which is actually harder than getting all the plant life and the minerals. I mean, creatures freaking move. So yeah, you could actually try and push to get that Quicksilver. So yeah, it does kind of make sense. It could work quite well. So as you can see here, I'm just running around a random planet, scanning myself some rocks, some flora, and some fauna. So yeah, I'm just going to collect all that up inside my discoveries page, and the discoveries page will become a lot more useful with this actual idea in part 2, because there is a second part to this idea. So if you come across dead planets, or those exotic biomes, you know, like the capped ones, or the shelled ones, or the ones with the machine type parts, you know, the ones with the exotic glitch trophies, they've only got the one fauna on there. Those sort of worlds, or the dead or airless worlds, I'm hoping to have some sort of terraforming device that you can place on those planets and actually claim them as your own, and then create new biomes on there, and not just a singular biome. So you could create a multiple biome type planet if you want. So here I am, I'm just touching down on one of those capped planets at the moment. You can see here it's quite lush already. It's got beautiful grass coloration, so maybe, you know, I might want to keep that beautiful grass coloration. But yeah, there's all different sliders that you could probably use to actually tone this up and do what you want with it, or place different sorts of plants on there from your discoveries page, but we'll get into that into a moment. Now there isn't a terraformer at the moment, so I'm just going to use a beacon. They're kind of defunct anyway. I mean, they could kind of just change this into a terraformer and no one's going to freaking miss it, because these don't do heckin' nothing anymore. So here we go, so let's kick that into life. And yeah, so I'm just going to quickly mock up a quick image and place it over the top of this to show you what I'm on about. So here you go. So once you actually go into here, terraforming planet, select options. You can hit randomize or customize. Now if you do hit the randomize, it gives you a rough idea in the top right hand corner what it may do to the planet. So in this case, it may give you tropical climate with fungal type spores and toxic storms. It's definitely going to give you higher water levels and water life. And there's also a chance that it's going to increase the life forms on the planet, so not just one fauna anymore. So you could just hit randomize, or you can hit customize. And in customize, you can actually select different hemisphere separations. You can have up to 4 biomes. So I've gone with frost on top and bottom to give it like poles to the north and south. And then you can add fauna or mineral or whatever discoveries you wish to the actual planet, and build this out how you want, as you like it, and even set different tints and colors and terraform a planet. So after you've done all your terraforming, your scanning, all that sort of stuff, head on up to your freighter. There may need to be a new console for this, or a new sort of interaction terminal where you just hook up to it, fire it up and say, yeah, I want to hold an auction. It takes a couple of seconds to call in the actual different sort of races from around the verse, and they appear as holographic projections above this sort of like doohickey here, this holographic planetary type thing, because that kind of makes sense. It could kind of work. It pushes people to get a decent freighter and stuff, doesn't it? But here we go, here's the the races. So yeah, the Korvax are offering nanites, the Gek are offering units, and the Viking are offering Quicksilver, and depending on your rate of discoveries and things, you can choose which one you want, or you can just hit leave if you don't like any of those options. But yeah, after you've actually selected that race and their favour and accepted their gift, yep, you will get that in your bank account, and then they will spawn in, like I was mentioning earlier. So the station will appear, all the outposts will appear, and then all the different systems make sense then, don't they? It really does. It's a great idea.
Okay, so the next and final idea that I have for player control and to bring things over to the community, you're going to have to use your imagination for this one a little bit more. Yeah, because I haven't done any gnarly mock-ups or anything like that. But I was thinking, you know, when you run an expedition and you got the expedition screen with all the badges that come up, what if you get that expedition screen by going to a console like this? It comes up, and the expedition screen, rather than have all the actual badges there, it's just got like round plugins where the badges should go. And you can choose from a whole back catalogue of all the expedition badges that have been through date. You slap it in and it comes up with those basic mission requirements, but you can hit customize. So say if it was to catch, I don't know, 5 frozen fish on a frozen planet, you plug that in, it automatically looks at the galactic map, works out where the nearest ice planet is, and puts that into the background and says, right, okay, we've got an ice planet that we're going to send a marker to. But then you can go customize, and you could change it to say like 10 fish or 15 fish or whatever amount of fish you want, or you can change it to colossal fish or storm fish or night fish, day fish. So there's all different customizational tweaks to each of those badges, not massively different from the actual remit of the badges in the first account, but slight tweaks that you can make to make it easier or harder as you see fit. And then, I mean, I've got loads of Quicksilver. I mean, I've got freaking tons of it. I've got like 258,000 Quicksilver. And then what if you could go to your Quicksilver store, buy an item that's a plug-in for that from Johnny 5, make this like a questy item or whatever, plug that into your expedition, and build out your own little custom expedition. And once it's all done and it's ready to be saved, save it. And then pretty much like the way that you can give bite beats to people, it's like if I go into here, I've got all my bite beats. Imagine this was all the different expeditions I've created. I can then simply just grab this, transmit it, and send it over to another player. Send it over to another player. They then pick that up, go over to a console a little bit like this, and hit up, I want to play this custom mission that's been sent to me. Goes through the loading screen, brings up the custom expedition, and away they go. I think that could work quite nicely. That'd be quite good content for running with my mates on a Friday instead of doing the weekend mission or something, or after the weekend mission, hitting up a little mini expedition rather than a weekend mission. Or just do it as separate content, totally. Anyway, so that's some of the ideas that I've had to make things more player driven. There's also something that I was thinking of when it comes to the weekend missions and pretty much everything else. When you're hitting up the weekend missions in here, when you go to hit this up, look, right now, I can't do this mission because somebody else has got it. If I've got 3 other players with me, I can't do this because someone's sitting and holding open the mission, waiting for people to join them. It'd be nice if there was a matchmaking option. So this person then can just join a pool of other people across all different iterations looking for players doing exactly the same thing and matchmake them into a state. But it'd also be nice if we could actually have this cube as a buildable base part to put over on our freighter as a freighter base part that we can run our missions from, or from an actual base, so we can all just go to one base and launch these missions without the aggro of players holding open missions and stopping us from running the mission that we choose to do. I think that'd be quite a nice idea. On top of this, I know it's not so much community driven stuff, but it'd also be nice if we could maybe create our own purple missions, like the weird question marky ones. It'd be nice if we could make our own custom missions for a little team to run. I think that'd be quite nice if there was a few different widgets that we could use, sliders and things like that, and make our own custom missions to feed into our own base computer mission module, so we can make our own custom missions to run with friends or even strangers that visit your base. They could hit on up a list of missions that you've created, and if they like them, copy them and then use them in their own. That'd be quite cool. Anyway, they're just a few of the ideas that I've got that could bring over a little bit of community-driven content. I mean, there are quite a few others. It's like registering your own hub. That'd be pretty darn nice. It'd be cool if the station overrides provided you the option to make a station and a system part of a hub, and then it automatically registered it to the Galactic Hub. Because I have noticed that Hello Games haven't really been doing too much with the Galactic Hub website and adding new hubs in there. I've submitted my own. Did it appear? Heck no, it didn't. But it would be nice to be able to do that in-game and take that away from Hello Games, make it so it's automated, so it appears automatically, and you can register your own logo and all that sort of shenanigans. If you're on PC, you could upload it. If you're on PlayStation, maybe there's a way that you can upload it. I don't know how, but yeah, maybe they could work something out for console. Or maybe even have a utility tool to draw your own logo inside a game. But then that'll take some doing. But anyway, people, that's pretty much everything I've got for you. They're all the ideas that I have when it comes to No Man's Sky and making things more community driven. I mean, with the logo thing, I just thought, you know, you've got the PSN app, you've got other apps on other consoles. Maybe you could just upload a photo into a group chat, download that to your PlayStation. Bob's your uncle. You can hit an import option to bring it into game. And then it goes through some sort of sanity checking. Or they could just add a report module inside a game, so if anybody uploads something dodgy, we could just report it, almost like we do with bases anyway. So there you go, people inside the Viewerverse. There's some of the ideas that I've got. I mean, some of them could do with a little bit more work. What the fudge is that? Community 1? What? What just happened? I'm not even on an expedition. What the if I wasn't recording that, what the? That is so freaking weird. Anyway, people, goodbye, and goodbye again. And sound them in the comments. Let me know what your ideas are to add things over to the community space. Get us doing a little bit more. I can imagine now a lot of people saying, I would like my own market to be able to sell all my own creature eggs and things like that. Yes, same, I guess. And I think settlements could do with a full rework as well. But there we go. Goodbye, and goodbye again.